And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to the Dice Tower, and today we're taking a look at Patchwork, but we're taking a look at the new version, Patchwork Halloween version for two ghouls. If you already own this one, it's the same game, but with a Halloween theme. So you don't need to watch this video except for they updated some of the tiles slightly. So keep that in mind. Now, I don't think that's a huge change in and of itself, but professional Patchwork players may care. Other than that, if you've never seen this game before, fantastic. I'm going to show you right now. At the beginning of a game, you're going to place all the different tiles here randomly around in a circle like this. And this piece here is going to be placed directly after the smallest piece. This is the smallest piece here. So on a player's turn, and both players are going to have their own board, so there is a purple board and an orange board. You're going to have some markers here, your player markers. On your turn, you have two actions. First of all, the player's turn is whoever's farther back. So here it would be orange's turn. And then if orange did an action which required them to go 2 spaces, it would be orange's turn again. Then let's say they went 3 spaces. Now it's purple's turn. Still purple's turn. Still purple's turn. Now it's orange's turn, etc. So whoever's farthest behind goes first, and if they're on the same spot, whoever's on top. One of the things you can do on your turn is you can move all the way up and in front of the other person, and for each space you move, you get an eyeball. This is the currency of the game. It's also points. But usually, if you have enough eyeballs, and players will start with 5, you're going to look at the next 3 tiles, and you can move this piece to one of them and take that tile. Now, tiles on them have a cost. So you can see this one here costs 10 eyeballs and 2 time. So that means you need to pay 10 eyeballs to take this token, and then you need to move your piece 2 spaces here on the board. So at the beginning of the game, I couldn't even take this one. This one I could take, though. This one costs 5 eyeballs and 5 time. This one costs 1 eyeball and 6 time. When you take these tiles, you're going to put them anywhere you want on your board, as long as it completely covers squares, and you're trying to fill things in. And, look at that, spooky, as you take these tiles. And so this piece is going to be moving around the board. And you're going to keep going till both players get to the middle. Now, there's a couple things. Whenever your piece passes the eyeball tokens on the track here, then you're going to look at all the eyeballs on your board, and you get them as an income. So this would be a great setup for me. I would get 6 eyeballs every time I pass one of these. Secondly, the first player to pass these little small pumpkins on the track get to take this. And this is pretty handy because you can put it on your board and help fill in spaces. And then finally, if one of the players gets a 7x7 perfect grid where they fill in a square 7x7, they're going to take this token, which is worth 7 points at the end of the game. At the end of the game, you're going to count up all the eyeballs that you've collected. You're going to subtract 2 points for each empty spot on your board, and whoever has the most points is the winner. So this obviously has this Halloween theme to it, and I really like it. I think it looks fantastic, and I don't know what it is. Using the little eyeballs as currency, here's 10s and 20s and 5s, is really fun. And of course, this board itself also looks cool. Now, one thing that they did in this particular set, they updated the tiles. So in the rule book, they mentioned that they've changed a bunch of the tiles, and they've marked these tiles that they've changed with a little asterisk here. I don't know why you need to know that, but so for example, this is the tile from the original game. This is the tile from here. They both have 3 currency. The original game used buttons, but in the original game, this one costs 8 and 6 time. This one costs 7 and 6 time. And so I went through and I compared all of them, and many of them went down. Like this one really went down. It's now 9 and 2 time, and it was originally 10 and 3 time. And so apparently a computer program went through and looked at this stuff. Some of this stuff went up. So it's not all cheaper in the new version. Some of the different things went up, but for the most part, I pulled out. These are the old pieces that match the new ones. I don't think it's a huge deal. It's not like I'm a competitive Patchwork player to have noticed the changes in them, but just realize that happened. They let you know. I don't know if that means you're playing a worse version by playing the original one. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it's a thing, throw the old one out, get the new one. The new one, if you have the old one, is really only worth getting if you want it the Halloween theme. If you've never played Patchwork before, you really should try it. It's a very popular game for a reason. This is the 4th version of this game. They came out with a regular Patchwork, then there was an Americana one, then there was a Christmas one, and now we have a Halloween one. This one is easily my favorite and has nothing to do with the upgraded tiles. I just like the eyeballs and the spooky Halloween theme. It's not even that spooky. It's a fun spooky, and I really like that style. So if I was only going to own one Patchwork, it would be this based on the theme. For those who had Patchwork before, like I said, there's no reason to upgrade. Although, again, you put these next to each other. Which one looks better? Come on now. But again, that upgraded tile thing might affect some people, or you might care about it. It's fine by me. Patchwork's an interesting game. It's a polyomino game where you're collecting Tetris-style shapes, placing them there, and it's also an economic game. I've found that I will beat people who are new to the game more often than not because they underestimate how important it is to have a lot of eyeballs. At the beginning of the game, you want to get tiles with eyeballs so that you get that nice income, but near the end of the game, forget eyeballs and you're taking as big of tiles as you can to cover as much territory as you can. Because it is possible to get a negative score in the game, which doesn't feel great, but I've seen new players do that before. But you really don't you have 4 choices on your turn, which are take one of the 3 tiles in front of you, which may not even be possible, so you may have fewer than 4 choices, or to move ahead of the other person to get income. You're likely going to have to do that at least once or twice over the course of the game, so getting an income of eyeballs keeps you from having to do that. The game does not take long. It is a 30-minute game. It works really well. My initial impressions of Patchwork were, yeah, it's an okay game. As the years go by, I keep finding myself enjoying it more and more. It's a nice head-to-head game that you can play casually, or you can play fairly competitively. It's back and forth. You know, I'm taking this tile, and you're not getting it, ha, ha, ha. That's just easy to set up. You're just putting everything in order, and you know, in a random order around the circle. Easy to play, easy to teach, and has a satisfying look at the end of it. So definitely one to check out. That's Patchwork Halloween Edition. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time. Dice Tower Judgment approved.